Hi, welcome to the Womanwhy podcast. I'm Peta Sklars from Los Angeles, California. The purpose of this podcast is to read my blog post that I've been doing since January 1st, 2018. When I first started writing my blog, I was still living in Portland, Oregon. I was still married. I have a different job. Just pretty much everything about my life was different. And I started writing as a way to try and figure out what I wanted out of life. And it turned out to help me change everything about myself. Currently, I am sober, I'm divorced, and I'm living in the Redondo Beach area, right across the street from the ocean. And everything about my life is something that I never thought I'd be living right now. And it all started with writing that first blog post and putting my feelings out into the world and getting support from like-minded women who said, I feel this way too. So for those of you who haven't heard my blog or read my blog, I started this podcast so I can read the posts. And this post is from January 28th, 2018, and it's called, Oh, Just Be Quiet. So I was supposed to go to a writing retreat at the beach this weekend. A month ago, it sounded really good and interesting. And as it got closer, I thought of what it would mean to spend Friday through Monday focusing on my writing with a group of women that I didn't really know and a coach to read my work. I tend to get claustrophobic in situations like that. What if I wanted to leave and the other ladies would think I was a wimp and couldn't handle it? What if my writing was terrible and the coach told me to go back to the drawing board, but that was the best I could do and I had nothing better to offer? What if the other women had been doing this for a long time and thought that my questions were dumb since I've only been writing for a blog for about a month? Was it worth the risk? I guess not, because I didn't go. I stayed home and I had a great weekend with my husband, but a part of me was wondering if I was just chickening out. I had all the perfect excuses. It is cold and rainy at the beach this time of year. I am really busy at work right now and I need to relax. I'm going to New York next week and I have to do laundry and pack. These are all valid excuses, but I know in my heart if I wanted to go, I would have made it happen. That brings me to a question I have about writing and art in general. How do you know when you are just scared and when you really do need to pull back and reflect and not participate in some events? Of course, it feels much better to stay home in the comfort of my house than to put myself out there for criticism and possible failure. When do I know when to push myself and when to take a step back? There are plenty of excuses and more than enough people that will support you when you take a step back. But who are the people that are going to tell you that you need to move forward, including yourself? And when does a hard push send you spiraling backwards? Can you be pushed too hard and retreat from moving towards your artistic endeavor? Because writing is so close to my heart, I wound easily when someone criticizes. My current career is in the financial industry, and criticism there is par for the course. Sometimes it hurts my feelings, but for the most part, it is all business, and there are rules to follow and certain ways to behave. So I know how to navigate there without too much hurt or distress. But when I am putting me out there, it is stressful, and obviously I take it more personally. I have let the slightest glance or negative word shut my creative side down. I never know when I'm being too sensitive or someone is really just being mean and judgmental. For example, at the end of last year, I was listening to a lot of Tony Robbins' YouTube videos about going for it in life, and his words and exercises were extremely helpful to me in finally expressing my creative side and sharing it with people. He inspired me so much that I wanted to see him live and sign up for his coaching. I called and got an appointment with a Tony Robbins coach. At the set time on the set day, the coach called me to go over my goals and to help me move forward. The call started out well enough. He asked if I was in a quiet place and had a pen and paper. I told him yes. I was nervous because putting myself out there in a creative way was new to me. I knew I wanted to write and focus on women's experiences and create a website and blog. Beyond that, I had vague ideas of where it was all leading, and that is where I needed his help. After I timidly explained this to the coach, he peppered me with questions as to why I wasn't getting off my ass and doing it, and asked me why I thought I was an expert in the field of woman empowerment. What experience did I have about talking about this issue? And I shouldn't pretend that I was an expert when I wasn't. His tone was harsh and judgmental. It hurt. At the end of the call, I told him that I would have to think about it if I wanted to sign up for the coaching. He told me I probably wasn't a good candidate for the Tony Robbins coaching if I couldn't tell him right then and there on the phone if I wanted to sign up. I hung up the phone and I was so deeply hurt by the conversation. This man, Tony Robbins, that had helped me change my state and get going on my dream of showing my artistic side to the world, had people working for him that were abusive and condescending. Then I remembered all the times in my life before this, especially as a young woman, how people had shut me down. Why did they seem so angry? Why were they so determined to quiet my voice? They had succeeded in shutting me down in my younger years, and I kept my head down and became very successful in my career, and only wrote in my journal and hid it for no one else to see. My words were dumb and my thoughts were stupid and seemed to make people angry, so I really should just keep them to myself, or so I thought. So I have a long history of being nervous to show the real me to the world, and a long history of believing people when they say that what I have to offer is not important. That is why I'm scared now of writing retreats and showing myself to people that I'm not sure of, and I'm not sure whether I can trust them or not. It will take time. I didn't let the negative words of the Tony Robbins coach shut me down. I am writing and putting myself out there still. And I am not angry at this coach because the anger just spins me in a direction that I've already been. Plus, if I let his negativity change my direction, then that means on some level I believed his words. And I don't believe him. I was one person in the thousands of people he talks to over the course of a year. I am long forgotten to him, but he provided me with a window to my past and actually helped me to see how far I've come. I will move forward sharing my artistic side, and I will slowly learn who I can trust. Most importantly, I will learn to trust myself. So this was in January of 2018. I had just started my blog. I was nervous and about my writing and about being honest and about publishing it. And here comes along this man who I found out later was just having a really bad day. I could have let his bad day and our 20-minute conversation shut me down, but I just used it as fuel to, power through this, and I just kept writing. I kept writing because I'd made a commitment to myself that I was going to write every week, no matter what. And so really, it didn't matter what anybody said because I was just going to write every week. And so that commitment really helped me write every week, but also helped me on my journey just to power through. Because when I write, I had to talk about myself and be honest. And I had to reveal where I was in my journey. So it helped to move me forward. So I look back at this post and I remember how I felt. I was so upset. It was right before Thanksgiving and I was like shaky and nervous, and I was so sad that something I thought was going to help me, this man ended up telling me that I really didn't know what I was doing and I shouldn't be talking about woman empowerment. But he obviously was wrong because I have thousands and thousands of women who read my blog and who message me every single day how much I help them. So this is a good message to anybody who's starting out and thinking that what they have to say is not important. Just keep with it. Just keep doing it because no one knows really what you're trying to do except for you. So hope you enjoyed that. Thank you.